to it. So guys, welcome to the call. So what I was saying about Tammy brought this up because the long and short of it, and we'll go into it more, is that she took her dog to the vet and the vet didn't renew a prescription for the dog, right? And so Tammy was smart enough to say, well, I'll just use True Science on my dog, right? Like a smart person does, right? And so I'm so glad she said this because Lisa and I have been struggling with my dad's dog. She's older, she's 12, and she's been having bad skin. And when Tammy told me, like, I said, I know what I'm doing the next couple of days, True Science on buttons, right? Like, it's just happening. Because you guys know this, that you see things happening and then you don't think about doing it. Like, when I look at, I look at so many people that have told me no about this. And they're all my age and they got crow's feet like crazy. We don't have them, right? Like, she's going to try to make them do that. So here's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to share just a couple of things with you guys. For my 15-day challenge, I had a friend of mine that now I'm actually convicted that I'm going to share this business with him because I think I'm going to work with him as he's going to do some of my funnels. I'm getting ready to launch some courses, a course on sleep, which women can buy, Tracy. Women can buy my courses on sleep. And I'm going to be doing a course on for men on testosterone. And so Justin told me to kind of tone some things down, and he did a presentation, and so I whipped it together for you guys. He didn't send it to me in time, but I whipped it together just so you guys know. That's why I'm not Stacey. It's usually Stacey and I on talking, like, and actually Stacey came on accidentally during the middle of my presentation, which is kind of funny. But
I thought I heard
I was like, yeah, and it was just funny. And so hopefully you stayed on and watched. I don't know if you did, but it was I did a thing on sleep. But so what tonight is I want to do is I want to walk you through a value piece that a friend of mine that is a kingdom guy, he's a Christian guy, that how he takes people through a process of marketing and branding and encouraging other people. Guys, it hit me right in the face because here's what I've learned. Some of my friends have sharpened me recently about things that I need to work on. And here's what I've done. Let me tell you what I would have done in the past. I would have done in the past is I wouldn't have handled, at least I can tell you how I would have handled them, right? But I handle them completely different now. I write them down in a journal and I pray about it. And I say, God, how can I change? How can I be better? Because I've done this all wrong. I've said this before. I've wanted this more for people than they've wanted it for themselves. I've done things the wrong way. I've admitted it. But you know what? One of my closest friends, Paulette Snipke, who's a Pro 5, called me this week and she just encouraged me. If you guys, it's just amazing to have friends in this business that no matter what she was my friend in a very deep part of my life that affected Lisa. Because without her, I wouldn't be, and there's actually two people on this call tonight that never gave up on me, prayed for me. One of them maybe both of them didn't really like me at times in their life, but now they love me. Oh, Stacey's like the one below me, like in the car. Yeah.
No, me. Yes,
yeah, both of us. But here's what's good is that you grow by the time that you invest in yourself. Investing in yourself and growing in yourself is what you do to become better. It's listening to Lisa today with one of our new distributors in Ireland, okay? Listening to her discuss with a new customer, a person, and if you guys don't know, a lot of the countries don't have all of the products. Like, it kind of sucks. Like, one of the big, you guys know that one of the products that a lot of the countries don't have is Axio, right? And people beg me for it all the time. Like, when are we getting Axio? When are we getting Axio, right? And so what I do is I just email Dave Fleming whenever. He says, Mike, just email me whenever you want. I was like, okay, Dave, are you sure? He said, yeah, whenever you want. So I just said to him, there's a lot of, like, I have some people coming on in the business in the UK. And so here's what I want to tell you guys, and I'm going to go over that at the end of this tonight when I talk about our daily action plan, because I'm going to talk about this every week until you guys figure it out, okay? Until you figure it out, because I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring out. Lisa and I went to Office Depot, and we bought 40 sheets of each of the daily action plan and the list, so that I can keep a list of because here's what I was doing. I was in all these groups. I was in a gut testing group. I was in a biohacking group. I was in all these different groups. and I was having conversations with people and not following up with them. Stacy's shaking his head because he does it. Okay, but here's what this ITT tracker and these lists do that's in Sarah's One Team training is they keep you organized. It's why Sarah said to me the other day, she said, Mike, I don't know if you guys saw my friend, I had her on our call a couple months ago. My friend Jenny Crane just made Pro 8, and she's very structured. I asked her this. We have a great relationship with her, and so at least she just loves us. And I texted her and I left her a couple voice messages, and she said, you know what? She said, you know what I liked that you asked me, what do I think was the main ingredient to get me to the next level, going from Pro 7 to Pro 8, right? And she said I took an action plan and put it into action, and I didn't deviate from it. And I was like, more confirmation and more confirmation, because if we treat this like a business, whether we're working a full-time job or whether we're not working a full-time job, whether we have one business or two businesses or three businesses, Lisa and I didn't really want Lisa to go back to work, but she felt like that's what God called her to do, to go back to work, right? So now we structure three things. We structure work and her business and my Heathfluence business. And you know why the way we're able to do it is because we have a system down. And we didn't have that in 2019. We didn't. And so now constant gifts, it's like Victor said, Mike, you've done so many videos this week. And I said, you know why? Because I mapped it out. So here's what I'm gonna do first. I'm gonna go over just a couple promotions that LifeVantage has coming this month and what the product of the month is. And then I'm gonna share this message that my friend Justin Miller, who's guy's gonna be 30 in a couple weeks, and he's a genius at marketing. Okay, he's a genius at marketing, but his marketing plan is all based around whether you have a business like Dr. Chissy has, where it's an acupuncture business or whatever it may be. You can use these principles in your work. You can use them in your business. You can use them in your LifeVantage business. So here's one of the, and so that's what I'm going to start with. So I'm going to share my screen. I put some slides together. Took me like 30 minutes to put these slides together. So that's why I was late getting on, but let me just go over some of these things. So I want to go over these promotions that LifeVantage has, because every month they're having like a product of the month. And this month it's kind of these brain hack bundles. And I don't know if you guys have seen Dr. Dixon's video on Axio and on the blood-brain barrier and how our products are one of the few in the world that actually access past this gut-brain axis and gut-brain barrier. So here's just a couple discounts on product this month. Again, like Lisa was signing this lady up today, they only have in Ireland, they have Nerve 1, Nerve 2, ProBio, and Omega. So the lady bought all 4 products because we went through what she was taking. Her list was like a mile long. How many people have you met when you talk to people and their supplement list is a mile long? It's like 30 stuff. And I was like, so you can take this out, you can take this out. And I do that a lot with people because it's just amazing how many people are still in the 20th century and they're still don't understand the technology and the principles. And guys, you get to teach people probably for another 2 to 3 years before the masses. Like we were talking, one of my friends who's a doctor said that there's just in this year alone, there's been close to 1,000 medical professionals have joined LifeVantage. That's grown significantly over the last couple of years, and that's going to grow exponentially. Lisa and I talk about it all the time. She does charts at the hospital, and very rarely, if ever, now less than ever when we're in Orlando, of people who actually even know about Protandim or our products of that. So here's some different things that you can look at, and look at it. It's while supplies last. So if you look at some of these, I'll give you guys these slides if you want them. And so if you do Protandim Tri-Synergizer.
Are they on the websites though?
They are. Everything is on the website. So when you go to your website, if you click it on, you can find these. And this is in the monthly playbook too. So if you go to your website, log in, on the right-hand side, do the drop-down arrow where your name is after you sign in, and then you'll see this. And if you look, you can buy 3 products and be blessed to get your choice of your flavor while supplies last, right? So these are really, really good. I'm just going to guess that. I'm looking at the track that Tracy's going to say, is this only in the United States? Tracy, I do not know that. So you're going to have to ask on the Canadian website or on your website. I'm not real sure. So, so Lisa's going to look for you. So let's go. I want to dive into some of this teaching, okay? And here's what my friend Justin said. And the reason I put this slide presentation together, I copied and pasted his slides because he said, Mike, I'm out, but I'll give them to you tomorrow. I was like, okay, I don't have time to do it. I'm just going to do it myself. So I went back through his teaching, photoshopped the slides and put them in here. I told him I was doing it. He was fine with it. So he said there's a process to marketing yourself and marketing your business, okay? And so I want you guys to take some notes if you can. And Marcia said, I think it is in Canada. I think it is too. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure. So she said, when you're building relationships and you're going through the process, trust the process. You guys have heard me say this, right? Identify where people are at. And how do you identify where people are at? You ask them questions, okay? You ask them questions. You identify where they're at in life and you ask them questions. Maybe they're struggling with their health. Maybe they're struggling with their finances. Maybe they're struggling with both. How do you know that? You ask them questions. And then guys, look at what Justin said second. The second step is meet them with empathy. Guess what happens when you meet people with empathy? Okay? It makes it about them and not about you. Okay? Because that gap, Justin said this. He said he used some biblical terms, and so you guys know me. I hope it doesn't offend you, but he said, think about it. He said this is what God did. He went and he met people where they were. You know, he loved people. And then I like this. Look at what he said on this last thing. He said, give them the best thing for them in that moment. That may be signing them up on the product. I told you guys this. Sarah signs 25 to 30 people. Now, I'm just going to say this, okay? We had massive growth in people in April, right? Because we had a lot of free signups and we had all this other stuff. Well, a lot of people on our team slowed down because they didn't have a system. They weren't in groups. They weren't doing things. I didn't. I picked up the pace, okay? Why am I telling you guys that? Because I started meeting people where they were at. If they wanted to sign up as a customer, I signed them up as a customer. Lisa and I figured this out. Lisa probably figured it out later, but we made close to an extra $1,500 last month just by me signing up customers. Okay? I'm just telling you that how many of you would like to have an extra $1,500 a month? If you're not raising your hand, you're lying. Okay? So it's I know Julia would. Julia would go for an extra $1,500 a month. So get in groups, start building these types of processes inside of your groups. You know, I'll be honest with you. I look for groups of people that if you filled out that avatar sheet on Sarah's training, like Stacy and I've talked about, you will gravitate towards the people in groups that you need to be in. And now some of you are going to learn some things from this. And I love what he said. He said, meet them with empathy. Ask them questions so that they know, like, and trust you. So here's the second thing that he said, and I really like this. Okay. He said, the first part is the goodness part. He said, if you treat people with goodness and you let them taste and see who you are and that you're making this about them, taste and see plus transformation equals favor. Okay? How many of you know that?
It's about what you can offer them to help them.
Yes. Yes. You guys hear what Lisa said? Say it again.
It's about, what did I just say? It's about letting them see what you can offer them to help them.
Correct. And it's transformation. Many of you have stories that you don't tell enough. Okay? You don't tell your story enough. It's like when Tammy was telling me how excited she was about her dog, right? Guys, how many of you know that people care about their dogs a lot more? I'm not saying Tammy does, but she might. But how many people know people that care about their pets more than they care about themselves? Okay? A lot of people. Okay? A lot of people. Okay? So taste and see, give them information that piques their interest. Okay? Give them words that pique their interest. Okay? And guys, do it with confidence, he said. This is where some of you are failing because you don't feel confident enough to share it with people. And look, here's what a girl told me this week. I asked her, I said, why did you stop? And she said, Michael, I've been waiting for someone to ask me that. And since now she's going through the one team training and she's back taking massive action. Because you know what? She did the simple thing. She went through and vomited on all of her lists. Okay.
Which we all do.
Which we all do. And then guess what happened? They told her no and she got discouraged. Okay. But here she said, Michael, what are you doing different now? And I said, I just never gave up on people. I didn't care if it took them 5 years or 8 years or 10 years. I never gave up on people. I just kept loving them where they are. And now some of those people in the beginning, I really wanted it for them and I might have, but you know what? Some of them are coming back. I have people right now that are telling me, hey, I've been watching you. I've been watching you. Hey, if you can get my wife on board, I'm all in. Okay. So I'm going to start putting Lisa on the phone with their spouses. So taste and see, give them some information. Tell your story is the transformation, okay, or where you're at. Tammy could use that example with people who have pets, you know, and then you have your favorite. And then here's the second thing he said. It's all about relationships. Think about this, you guys. I'm going to take this up to the top.
Yeah, just that one.
This one?
Yeah, close the top.
Oh, I want to be able to see people.
Oh.
How did it get across the top?
Oh, hang on.
Sorry. I wanted Lisa to see something. So, okay, so here's the second part of this. No, back over here. Second part is the relationship. So honesty plus communication times consistency builds trust. Think about this. I found this book that I'm downloading. It's called Effective Communication by James Downs. I'm going to start reading it this week. You can never learn too much about communication, okay? Just think about this. Honesty plus communication times consistency equals trust. How many times have you guys heard that you say that you have to get people to know, like, and trust you, right? Well, you heard Victor say it. You heard Victor say it at the beginning of this. He said, he said this to me several times. Wow, you have given so much value this week. Video after video after video after video. You guys know what? My videos that I've been doing, my Facebook Lives where I give people a PDF, I showed Victor how to use Canva and how to do easy things. Guys, when you give people something, Mike knows this from stuff. Mike knows this. When you give people tangible stuff, okay? When you give people tangible stuff, they know that it's about them and not about you. And so if you guys want if you want to learn a little bit more about that, in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to do some videos teaching you how to use Canva and how to make PDFs. And I'm going to give them to you guys for free, okay? I'm going to put them in our group so that you all have them, okay? So, and it's consistency. Like when Mike and I had some funny laughs when I was driving last week. We were talking about, you know, he's like, man, I just get distracted, right? Like I get on here and I see this stuff. And so you know what I told him? I told him what he didn't want me to hear to tell him. I said, stop getting distracted. Stop, you know, how many people know that you can get on and start looking at the stock market or whatever it may be and you get distracted and you don't follow your action plan? Look how many heads are bobbing up and down right now, okay? So many people. And Mike's like, I know, I need to stop doing it, right? And he said, call me out on it. Call me out on it. He said, I want to know what I need to do to change my current situation. And then I told him, it's repetitiveness. Sometimes you get relationships that are lasting, that last forever, are the relationships that Paulette and I have. Can come to me and say, hey, I just wanted you to know that I don't know what you're going through, but I'm thinking about you and I'm praying for you. And thank you for consistently being with me. You know, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for coming to Ohio and spending time with me, even when I'm not even in your group. Those are relationships. And what is that? That's consistency. How many of you, by a show of hands, would say that one thing, and I'm going to pull it up so I can see all you guys, How many of you would say that one of your issues is lack of consistency? I'm going to raise my hand. Okay. I'm raising my hand. Why? Lack of consistency means that you're not doing the same things over and over. Right. And so, hey, Jose, that one of the things is it's so actually Jose and I talk about this on Marco Polo all the time about the consistency of follow-up. Like what we say in the follow-up means that if we follow up the way we're supposed to, then that allows us to not feel like there's any pressure. It's just us communicating and being honest with people, trying to find out where they're at. And here's what happens. It's why strangers are easier to sign up in this business than people we know. Because guess what? It's building a relationship with a stranger that makes you feel more comfortable about signing them up than following up with your friends that told you no, right? So, or you just don't go to your friends because some of your other friends told you no, right? It's this honesty plus communication plus consistency, okay? And so here's another thing, okay? Here's part 3, strategy. I love this. Look at what he says. Transformational journey. This is your life story plus ask and reward. If you don't ask people what they need or what they're looking for, you never know what reward to give them, right? What reward to give them? How about a PDF? Hey guys, you just listened to me talk about sleep. What would you like? Would you like a PDF? Yes. Do you guys know that 95% of the people that comment on my Facebook Lives get the PDF? 95% of them ask. Why? Because it's ask, and then when you ask, you give them a reward. And what happens when you do that? Results. Results. I did this. I shared this with you guys last week. I gave Katie said she had her biggest month she'd had in 4 months last month, because she did a test of what happened to her in the last 90 days. She lost 30 pounds during the pandemic with a broken foot on top of it. And people, what do you think people wanted to know? How she did it, right? So she told them, right? Biohacking. And she made a PDF on biohacking. I gave her kind of some insights on that. And then she gave it to 67 people. How many of you would like 67 people to ask you for something that you give them? Okay. I know Jose would, right? So here's the last piece, okay? The last piece is wisdom, okay? It's wisdom, okay? Simplicity and excellence. Here's where you guys are gonna hear that knocked me right in the socks. Don't focus on things that you're not good at, okay? Don't focus on things that you're not good at. And here's what Justin told me. He said, Mike, don't launch 6 courses. Launch 2. Focus on the 2 that you're good at. Don't launch 6 courses. He said, launch the ones that you're good at. It's like when people look for monetary returns, okay?
It's about themselves.
Yeah, and it's, like for instance, I have a young boy that I started mentoring, and here's what he does. And this will probably pique Dr. Chissy's interest. He does LinkedIn for financial advisors. Okay, so financial advisors pay him to get them customers on LinkedIn, and I mean he's a genius at it, right? And you know what? The number one thing I asked him, I said, what do you think has allowed you at 28 years old to make $50,000 a month helping people? He said, results and wisdom. Results and wisdom. Okay? And then he said this. So this is me being tough on me. He said, why haven't you asked me to sign up on the products yet? Whoa, right? Like, okay, right? And another kid that I've been mentoring, he says, hey, are you ever going to sign me up, Andrew? Said, hey, are you ever going to sign me up on the products? You've been telling me about them for 4 months. Okay. He said, and I might want to do the business. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
well, part of it is because you continue to build that relationship.
That's it. That's what I was getting at.
Trust
Yeah,
with them
that's what I was getting at.
first.
That's what I was getting at. So here's what I was getting at. The simplicity times the excellence of being good at one thing. Maybe it's mastering, like I'll give you a prime example. My friend Tim. Tim is mastering Instagram. Okay? Tim is mastering Instagram. I'm not mastering Instagram. Okay? This is going to be kind of cool because Jose and I are brothers in Christ, but we're also really close, right? Like we just love each other and we're close. Well, I'm in the process of rehiring Jonah, somebody that Jose works with. So now we're going to be even closer because we're going to be working on more things. And so she is going to be doing some stuff for both of us, which I'm going to make sure that she does it for him too, for LifeVantage, so that we have things that we can give people from that perspective, right? So the cool thing about that is think about this. So it's the wisdom, the simplicity and excellence equals scaling. So it allows you to build more relationships by focusing on things that you're good at, right? Whether that's, like for instance, I saw Lisa going over the launch guide with Julia when it came out about a week ago, right? And so she took her all the way down through it. I found out some really cool things that Julia is kind of wants to have happen in her life, which is kind of cool, and how much money she wants to make, and those are cool. So when you find out those things about people, that's the simplicity. Guys, do you know the only reason we lack wisdom? It's because we don't ask for it, right? God, this is what Justin said. God freely gives us wisdom, right? We don't take advantage of it because we don't ask for it. Okay? So just think about these things as we go through this, okay? So let me just do a quick 30-second recap. So number one, be good. Be good, right? Taste and give and believe in the favor. Guys, be confident. Do you know what I took from goodness? Is to be confident. Build relationships, honesty and communication. Always be honest. Don't tell people something that's not truthful and honest. Okay? And be consistent in your message because that's what builds trust. And then strategy, transformational journey, ask, results. Guys, I'm going to build funnels around this strategy right here. The strategy that I'm giving you will work in any aspect of your business, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a coach, whatever you may be, whether you're a direct salesperson, networker, whatever, this will work. And then fourth is wisdom, okay? So here's the last thing I want to go over. I'm going to pull this up every week because I know some of you have still not printed enough copies. I printed off 30 more copies, one for each week for the rest of the year, okay? And I have this in a binder, and every single Monday I'm going through this and circling where I'm at on this scale. So what I'm doing is I'm circling what I'm going to do every single week. So for instance, I'm going to do 15 to 20 minutes of personal development. I'm circling every day for me. And then when I do it, I cross out the X. I just put an X in the circle, okay? And then here's what else I do. Okay? Exactly, Vic, the system, okay? Create one Facebook post and Facebook stories. Now, guys, in these videos I'm going to do for you guys next week, I'm going to put some examples of Facebook stories in here that will literally take you to the next level at creating curiosity in your posts, okay? I'll tell you who's one of the best people to follow on Facebook that does great stories is Tim Cox, okay? Tim is a Pro 8. Him and his wife Sarah live in Louisiana. They're in their 20s and they are retired and work from home. And they make $250,000 a year. Tim is great at doing stories, okay? Check your notifications. Guys, use this so that you're not scroll liking on Facebook, okay? Right? Look at this. Create a value post. I saw Lisa and Julia going over these different types of posts, how to create these posts, okay? Julia likes to hike. Those are lifestyle posts, okay? So you make lifestyle posts saying, I'm looking forward, like if it's Julia hiking in the mountains, I'm looking forward to one of the days when I can do this and I don't have to go to work the next day. Boom. Easy lifestyle posts, right? And guys, here's what I want you to do. Every time somebody that you want to build a relationship with has a birthday, you send them a voice message on Messenger. Hey, so they can hear your voice, and you say, hey, Jose, happy birthday.
How about going up it with a video message?
Yeah, or a video message. I do that all the time. You can click on the button and click video and do a video message. Okay. Comment on posts. Okay. On only message 10 friends. Okay. 10 new friends. Okay. And then guys, no matter what you do, whenever you have somebody that comments on one of your posts, you have to put them in the ITT tracker. It's an absolute must. Okay. Or you will lose track of them. Okay. If I'm like, I did a couple calls last weekend for Jose and Jana. They had people that came on for 2 different calls, and I told them, make sure that you never give up on those people.
They got a new customer.
Yes. Make sure you never give up on those people. Why? Because it was their first touch. How many touches does it take for somebody to get? Usually 5. Okay. And it can be up to 60, like us, like we were 6 months, right? And then look at this, second power hour. Maybe these are 30 minutes. Okay. This action plan here is for somebody who doesn't have a job. So if you have a job, you switch these to 30 minutes. Okay. And then you follow up with 5 PCs of customers. Okay. And you follow up with 1 team member who you've got as a business partner. Okay. You put in your weekly training calls and you check your ITT, add tag message. Okay. Write a mini blog or daily post. You can write a post that's a long blog post. Guess where you can get those?
Copy paste.
On the LifeVantage website. Okay. You don't have to put LifeVantage on there. You just copy and paste it into a blog. Blogs are great on your Facebook page because when you have long blogs and long typing on your or writing on your Facebook page, people are more active to scroll down. When it says see more, guess what 72% of people do?
Click it.
Click see more, right?
And one thing on that though is it does need to be like space, not like super huge, all one big paragraph. So like break down your paragraphs.
8 or 10 paragraphs. Yeah.
Yeah. And or throw in some emojis with it. If it says something about muscle, throw in the muscle emoji, you know, things like that too, because people, it catches their attention.
Yes, it does. And so this is your bonus. Go live and write a blog message, 5 people to chat, right? You guys, you'd be amazed at when you go live and give value. And then when people, you can say, hey, and here's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start interviewing people. Okay. I'm going to start interviewing people and I'm going to start talking to them about their stories, because when you interview people and you talk to them about their stories, the best way to do it is then once you've done that, then you take that person into a Facebook Messenger group. So here's what our new person in Ireland has been doing. Every time she gets a potential customer or distributor, she puts them either with Lisa or with me into a Facebook Messenger group. And then they do a live right from that messenger group, and they're all in on that same messenger. So they set up a time, like they did one today. Lisa spent about 25 minutes with her, asked her a bunch of questions, signed her up. Julia does the same thing. Whenever she has a prospective client, she follows the system, puts them in her ITT tracker, and then puts it into a Facebook Messenger group. So if you have, guys, some of you are afraid to put people into a Facebook Messenger group. Look, a lot of people, I have one of our new people has some high level people that she has got that are interested. Mm-hmm. Okay, my friend Susie. And she said, Michael, I don't want to talk to him. I said, good. You shouldn't talk to him.
Right.
Because and she's a massage therapist. She started gaining because here's what she's done. She's given people so much value that now people want to know what she's doing. It's the same thing that my friend Jane did. When I had continued, she said, hey, Michael, I think I'm ready to join LifeVantage. And I said, really? And I said, well, I'm going to send you an updated video. And she said, okay. And she never even looked at it. She just signed up, right?
Part of the thing is too, is going back to edifying the quote expert.
Yes.
You know, in that messenger group, or whether it's face to face or however, because that was the thing that Shauna did. Because this is a client of hers that she coaches and trains, and she's like, you know, we've kind of gotten to a point with your health. I think, you know, you need more help than what I'm able to provide you. So I want you to talk to Lisa. She's really the expert about, you know, at the cellular level, and
this lady was pretty sick for years,
and, you know, stuff like that. I think, you know, some of her recommendations will really, really benefit you. This woman didn't bat an eye when I was saying, this is what I ideally think you need, which is basically the ultimate stack. But, you know, and then she mentioned something about her son being OCD. I said, oh, well, then get him a bottle of NRF2 also.
Well, and
she's like, okay.
And here's another thing that, so what Shauna also did is, let me turn this off so you guys can see this. So here's what another thing she did is she sent us a list of all of the ladies' issues and the supplements that she was taking. Yeah. So I just went down. She had a lot of things that she was taking that were inside of our products. Yep. Turmeric and some of these other things. And guys, here's what I want to tell you. And I shared this with Dr. Chizzy when she first got. She's an herbologist. She's very much into herbs and has been for years. Do you guys understand that we take non-therapeutic amounts of 5 ingredients and make them 18 times more effective than a therapeutic amount of each of those individual ingredients? Do you guys ever think about that? Like synergy. What that actually does? That's impossible. That's never happened in any type of company in history. You've never been able to take a non-therapeutic amount and put it into 5 different ingredients and then put it into a capsule and it be 18 times more effective than if you took those ingredients separately. And number one, here's something I learned. 18 times, but it's 1800 effective. It's 1800. Yeah. But so here's what I wanted to share you guys. I really started to understand from a lot of Dr. Dixon's talks recently is just about some of these therapeutic effects. Okay. There's a lot of precursors stuff going on. I'm going to finish with this. And if you guys have questions or anything or comment, you can do that. But here's this thing I want to tell you about precursors. So for instance, I think I talked about this last week or the week before. There's a lot of stuff out there that's precursors. There's things that activate nerve 2. There's cinnamon. There's all these different things.
Are those the precursors?
Yes, that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting. A precursor is something that activates it, but it's not upregulating and downregulating the antioxidant response system. So there's things that it does, but it's not. You need that? Okay, you're not getting the full effect. Okay. And that's why I think once you find out the significance of what a precursor is, it's, what did somebody say? I forget. Dr. Dixon said something really funny, and he said, why would you just eat the dough without the chocolate chips and all the other stuff in there? He said, you're not. It's like I've always said, you know, even with when people tell me, well, I'll just take the ingredients separately. I said, well, you could do that, but it's not going to activate the pathway because of the guys. It
goes back to that chocolate chip analogy.
These ingredients have been around for decades, like Dr. Dixon. I don't know if you guys have been watching the podcast. Go listen to put Dr. Dixon's podcast inside of your daily action plan and start to watch the Flip the Switch podcast. Some of them are 30, 40 minutes long. I listen to them when I'm working out. Okay. I've been on this I don't know if you guys know, but I'm going 90 minutes for 90 days of exercise for the next 90 days. So, and some of you know that I've been really also on a really strict going to bed early and getting up at 5 a.m. and working out. But I just want to encourage you guys that stick to a plan. Okay. Be really intentional about it. Be intentional about the time you go to bed. Be intentional about the time you wake up. Be intentional about your schedule for the week. Map things out. No matter how busy you are, you have to make time for the things that are important for you to do the things that you're called to do. just goes right back to what Justin said. Justin's talk, I'm going to upload it to actually YouTube and let you guys listen to it, to go back and listen to it. But guys, if you have not went through all of Sarah's training, you need to make a priority of doing that. Okay. You need to, and here's what I'm doing. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing. Okay. Because I'm not going to do that anymore. And I've said this before. And somebody that's very close to me said, you know, you still every once in a while want this more for people than you want it for self. And he was right. So here's what I said. I'm not going to pull people's chains to be on a 45-minute call once a week. I'm not. But I'm going to make sure that I'm prepared to give you my all and every bit of value that I can give you, so that you have tools, not only just to grow your LifeVantage business, but to be a better person, have better leadership development skills, and those type of things. So that's why I'm going to include you guys in all these videos that I'm going to do in the next couple of weeks. So it is now 9:15 and I'm done. So I hope that you guys have taken some value out of what I've shared tonight. Let me ask this. Does anybody have a question or a comment or maybe something they want to add? Okay, Stacy, go ahead.
I got a question for you. If LifeVantage wants us to use their podcasts and their calendar and all that fun stuff, why don't they start it at the beginning of the month? Because here it is the 4th and you still don't have a podcast you can use. You still don't have the calendar that you can use.
Yeah, they're working on that, Stacy. That's
okay. No, it's just I can't phone them up and say, okay, why aren't you guys doing this? Usually the guys that are further up the chain will be able to rattle it.
Believe me, it's not, and I'll tell you about it more offline. It's not that it's getting the systems in place to have them all at one time.
Okay.
So they're going to get better and better as the time goes on, because you got to remember they launched this all in kind of a beta testing thing. Okay. So now it's just getting things into. They're still and just like with the app, they're rebuilding the app, and so that's been part of. So they're going to take things little steps by step to get it perfected. That makes sense.
I got another question for you.
Sure.
How many times a week do you post curiosity posts?
It just depends. A minimum of 2 to 3. Okay.
2 or 3 a week?
2 to 3. Yeah. And I would do them like maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Friday. Okay. It's just up to you. 2 to 3. I can't remember what it says. What's that?
The majority are lifestyle stuff,
yes,
right?
yes. And that's
and then curiosity.
Yeah. So I would just follow what it says on that chart, Stacy. And if you stick with that, just make sure that you're making those inside of groups too.
So all your lifestyle or your curiosity posts go towards your avatar then?
Yes.
100%. 100%.
Okay.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Anybody else with a question? Comment?
2. The cinnamon. Is the cinnamon a bad thing?
No, it's a good thing. It's just a precursor.
Okay. I wasn't understanding the precursor thing. I didn't understand if that was a good thing or not such a good thing.
It's just not pro tandem. So.
No, for you.
Still good for you.
When I take my pro tandem, it's okay that I add cinnamon to my oatmeal that you've given me the recipe for. Okay.
Yes.
And I'm taking my oatmeal that you gave me the recipe for.
Awesome.
The other one was, I thought I had written out all your slides. There was only 4, but I really, because I was listening and it's hard for me to write.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Comment, question?
Oh, one more thing. Sorry.
No, go
this
ahead.
action plan, I've been very diligent.
For
everybody, this week.
It's hard. It's really hard to be diligent with it.
Yeah, but it takes more than 30 minutes. So, I mean, I'm not working, I'm home, but I'm sitting differently because I'm in a different chair because I can't sit in a regular chair all day. And one of the things I've learned was to stop every hour and to check how you're feeling on the inside and to write that down and to check where you are on your action plan. Maybe that might help you not getting distracted.
Yeah, 100%. That's really good. That encourages me.
Thanks for sharing that, Jason.
I'm glad you said that.
So I shared my story with you.
You did. I loved it.
One more quick question. Powdered greens. What do you think of them?
You can text me that and I'll tell you. I just tell you which ones we take.
Okay.
I take Organifi. We use Organifi.
Okay, and it's just to complement the Protandem.
Yeah, you can't. Don't take it when you take it, but take it opposite of it.
Okay.
Especially if you don't get enough greens in.
See, I eat enough greens anyway, so it really doesn't matter to me.
Then
I'm
you
just
don't need
talking
it.
with a person right now that thinks the greens are better than Protandem. And I'm kind of going, okay.
No, you need to put them in a Facebook Messenger group with me. I'll fix that for you really quick.
Oh, I've been trying. He's very leery of talking to anybody else that might be more.
So you just keep loving on them and move on.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Awesome. Dee Dee, thank you for saying that. That's all we want to do is just give you guys value and encourage you. And I'm glad that we're able to do that. So appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Anybody else? Comment or question?
Thursdays work good after the building depth call.
Yes, exactly. All right. I'm going to